Morning, guys. All right. I've got Levi's sausage going. I'm fixing to take that out of the frying pan because we usually have 2 pieces of sausage and 2 pieces of toast for breakfast. So I'm fixing to put his toast in and take the sausage out. But what I want to do a video of, I had apples left over from the Christmas pageant, or when we leave. I don't know about all churches, but our church gives you a bag of, each person gets a little bag. It's a gift. Has an orange, an apple, and some nuts in it. So everything got eaten but the apples, because we're not big raw eater apples here. But I didn't want them to go to waste. So I'm going to make like an apple filling. And you can use it on ice cream. You can use it in a pie if you want to make a pie. I'm not gonna make a pie, but what I may make, if I have a can of biscuits left over, sometimes I buy the little, they're not very expensive with the, it's got 10 biscuits in the little canned biscuits, and I can flatten them out, add some butter, some cinnamon sugar, and a couple of the apple slices that have been cooked down, and then stick them in the oven and bake them up, and they make like a little tart. So that's what I'm just gonna do with them. But you could just eat them, sitting watching TV as a snack. Turn that down. Oh gosh. So he's on a roll this morning already. So let me get the sausage taken out real quick. And then I've got a skillet over here with butter in it. Now I have a recipe, and it calls for 4 apples. I don't have 4 apples. I only had 2. So I won't put as much as everything calls for in the recipe. So I've got a couple of tablespoons of butter melting here. And I'm going to dump my apples in. And I'm just going to cook those down. Not very long, just a few minutes, but while they're cooking, I'm going to add the other ingredients. And I think it called for a 1/2 cup of sugar. Now this is for 4 apples, but I'm only doing 2, so it's not a 1/2 cup. It's just a little bit. And a 1/3 cup of water, and I'm going to eyeball it in this 1/2 cup. Dump that in. And cinnamon. Like I said, I'm eyeballing. I think you could just probably do this to taste. And it called for nutmeg, but all I had was allspice. So I don't know how good that'll be or not, but that's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to use very, very like a tiny little bit, because I could probably get by with just the cinnamon and the brown sugar. I'm not even going to use that much. This is a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm not even going to put that much. I'll do that, like an 1/8 of a teaspoon. It's like an 1/8 teaspoon. But it calls for a 1/4, I think it called for a 1/4 teaspoon. Levi, I think it called for a 1/4 teaspoon if it was 4 apples. And then you just let it cook down. Just stir it all up and cook down. I'm going to turn it up a little bit on a medium heat. Oh, splash. Smells good. You know what? Years and years ago, I had tried this recipe. Not this recipe, but I tried a recipe with apples. It was an apple pizza. And it was just a pie crust spread out real thin and put on a pan. And sliced apples, sliced real thin. And I think I used what was called, a mandolin, whatever that's called, that shaves them, shaves your vegetables and fruits down. I used one of those and did like real thin, like little circle slices. And then it was cheese. It was like a mozzarella cheese, I think was what you put on it. Anyway, it turned out really good as a dessert pizza. I think there was cinnamon stuff like that all on it too. I can't remember that. I need to look that up one day because that really went out good. But I'm gonna let this cook here until it sort of starts, the liquid starts to boil a little bit, and then I'm gonna pause this and put the toaster on, get his toast going, and then I'll come back and add the cornstarch to thicken up the sauce and let y'all see it. I might do the tarts too. All right, I got his toast done. Levi, you can come get your breakfast. Baby, your toast and sausage is in here. And these are going pretty good. I didn't add while ago the vanilla, so I'm gonna do that now. Just a little bit of vanilla, just a few drips. And I'll bring the camera over here and show y'all how it looks as it's cooking down. There. You gonna say hi to everybody?
Hi.
They didn't get to see your pretty face. He's smiling at me. He doesn't realize he's not on camera. Okay, so it cornstarch starch. So it calls for to thicken up the sauce. It calls for like 1 1/4 teaspoons of cornstarch, but I'm only going to do 1 teaspoon since I didn't use as many apples. And I always do it in a canning jar. Let me put a 1/3 cup of water here. It calls for a 1/3 cup of water. I'm not doing quite a 1/3 either because I didn't use as much cornstarch, and I'm not going to use a whole 1/3 cup of water. And I use a canning jar, put the lid on tight, and just shake it up. I used to have one of those. It was for making those like shakes, smoothies and stuff. And you would shake it for like those diet drinks. I don't know what happened to that. Anyway, but this works. And then I'll pour this in. And this will thicken up the sauce. Turn this heat back up a little bit. I turned it down for a second when I was doing his toast because I didn't want it to get too done before y'all got to see it. So let me get the camera over here. And so this is how it looks. It looks really pretty and it smells so good. So this is 2 apple slices and a little bit of cinnamon, vanilla, butter. You melt the butter in the pan, then you put the apples in there with a 1/3 cup of water. And then you just sort of let that cook for just a couple of minutes before you start adding the other things. So it was about a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Now this is for 2 apples, not 4. But I used a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, just a little bit. I called for nutmeg, but I didn't have it. All I had was allspice. See how thick that is now? Look how thick it is. A little bit of vanilla. And you just cook it down till they're soft. And they're soft. Like this one's already falling apart. So I'm going to pause this for a minute and get my canned biscuits out. And then I'll show you the little tarts as we put them together. And then I got to get the oven turned on. So give me a second. Alright, so I got one made. And I even put a little piece of one on my piece of toast. It was good. It's almost like an apple preserve. Anyway, what I did, I melted me a little bit of butter. And I took these canned biscuits. So it's 10 biscuits in a can. This will make 5 tarts because I'm using the top and the bottom. And I'm just spreading it out. I didn't worry about getting flour out or anything like that. I just spread them out right here on my counter. Good thing I have wood countertops. like a cutting board and everything in one. And then I've slapped it here. Oven says it's ready. I've got the oven set to bake at 400. It's just what cooks the biscuits. The temperature for the biscuits. And then I'll put them on, and I take my fork. I put a little bit of butter on it, but and just smash down the sides, smash them together all the way around. Push that back in there. That little apple wanting to come out. Smash down. Put a little butter on the top. And then I will do the rest of them real quick and stick them in the oven. And when they're done, I'll show y'all. All right, so just got them out of the oven. You can see they're just little popped up biscuits. Now they're not gonna taste like a pastry. Of course, if I had some type of a pastry in my refrigerator, pastry dough, or if I wanted to go to that trouble to make a pastry dough, then it'd be completely different. But this will give you a little snack, a little sweet snack. Or I might put them in a Ziploc bag in the refrigerator, and then tomorrow morning, instead of having toast, I'll have one of these with my sausage. Because I had a couple of those apples with my sausage and toast a while ago, and it was really, really good. So I am going to get a plate. See if we can't make it look pretty. I'm gonna get a plate. Oh, the bottoms look pretty. Put it on there. I will take an apple, maybe two. So pretty you can make something look. That's not going to stay. We're going to slide off because that biscuit is hot. Like that. And I'm going to drizzle some juice on the top. Some of this leftover apple that's all cooked down with the cinnamon. Anyway, I think that's cute. And it's something that if it's cold out and you just want something warm, you could heat it up in the microwave. And then if you put this leftover apple and stuff in the in a bowl with a lid in the refrigerator, you could just eat it like that. Or if you have ice cream, you can eat it. It was simple, and I didn't let the apples go to waste. And those canned biscuits have been in the refrigerator for a while, so they needed to come out and be made anyway. Usually, the only reason I buy canned biscuits is to make the little donuts for Connor and Elora when they're over here. Because I use those to make donuts, fry them up in grease. So, y'all have a good day, and I'll see y'all the next time.